The world of gospel music has always been a unique blend of faith, passion, and sometimes scandal. Recently, we witnessed a stunning confrontation that shook the foundations of this community. Grammy-winning gospel artist Leandria Johnson, known for her powerful voice and unfiltered opinions, has taken to social media to voice her frustrations with a prominent church leader, Bishop Marvin Winans. Her bold remarks threw a spotlight on the often hidden discrepancies between what is preached from the pulpit and the reality faced by everyday churchgoers. Johnson's comments echo a growing sentiment among many who feel disillusioned with the church's elite, especially as they witness their lavish lifestyles while the congregation struggles. This raises an intriguing question. Why is it that the leaders of our spiritual communities often live in luxury, while their followers grapple with everyday hardships? Johnson's fiery outburst challenges the status quo, urging believers to reevaluate their understanding of faith and leadership. As conversations surrounding her comments intensify, it's clear that the gospel community is at a tipping point, faced with critical questions about authenticity, accountability, and the very essence of faith. Today, we peel back the layers of this unfolding drama, exploring both Johnson's grievances and the responses from the church leadership. What does this mean for the future of gospel music, and how will it affect the individuals who look up to these leaders for guidance and inspiration? Join us as we delve into this complex web of faith, power, and the hunger for truth within the church. The spark behind the outcry. Leandria Johnson, a prominent figure in gospel music, recently ignited a significant controversy, revealing the tension between faith and the visible wealth of church leaders. This outcry arose from a growing discontent among everyday churchgoers, who often struggle to make ends meet, while their pastors and church leaders live in luxury, captured by extravagant lifestyles. Love it or hate it, Johnson's criticisms resonate deeply within the community, raising uncomfortable questions about integrity and accountability in the church. In her fiery rants, Johnson boldly asked, "Why can't I live like my pastor? Why can't I enjoy the same benefits?" These questions echo a sentiment shared by many, prompting a reflection on the disparity between spiritual teachings and the actions of those in power. The lavish lifestyles of church leaders stand in stark contrast to the messages of sacrifice they preach, highlighting a disconnect that many find difficult to ignore. Johnson's frustration is not only personal, but it also speaks to a broader issue within the church, where the hypocrisy of elite figures often overshadows the genuine faith of ordinary believers. This disparity has sparked a heated debate about what it truly means to lead in faith, responsibility, and integrity. Johnson's challenge to church norms shines a light on deep-seated issues, inviting everyone to examine the moral and ethical boundaries within church leadership and to demand a return to transparency and accountability within their communities. As her words spread like wildfire online, it became clear that this wasn't merely about a personal grievance. This was a rallying cry for change, a call to action that resonated widely. In her passionate outburst, Leandria Johnson voiced deep-rooted frustrations that many feel but seldom express about the glaring discrepancies she observed within the church, particularly concerning those in power. She hit hard at the heart of the issue, questioning the lavish lifestyles of church leaders, especially when juxtaposed against the struggles faced by ordinary congregants. "Why can't I live like my pastor?" she asked, a question that echoed through many minds. Johnson's sentiments were not just personal grievances. They symbolized a growing disillusionment with religious authority, which often seems disconnected from the very principles it upholds. As she critiqued these double standards, she highlighted a widespread hypocrisy that exists within faith communities, where it's often expected to sacrifice, while leaders enjoy the fruits of their labor in grand fashion. Her words served as a mirror, reflecting uncomfortable truths about excess and opulence, where pastors and their spouses preach humility, yet fail to live it. The contrast between preaching sacrifice and living in abundance was too stark for her to ignore, prompting her to demand accountability and transparency. This vocalization of her frustration not only touched on personal experiences, but resonated with thousands who feel similarly disenfranchised, ultimately urging them to reevaluate their faith environment. In doing so, Johnson ignited critical conversations about the responsibilities of church leaders and their accountability to the very communities they serve, challenging them to genuinely embody the values they promote. Exposing the bishop's dark side. At the heart of the gospel controversy, a storm brews around Bishop Marvin, a figure once revered as gospel royalty, but now questioned for his true character. Johnson's fiery critique has unveiled a hidden world behind the pulpit, a world overflowing with contradictions and hypocrisy. Allegations are swirling, accusing him of manipulating church resources for his benefit, while the faithful are left to grapple with their financial burdens. Charges of questionable dealings have been laid bare, including accusations of financial mismanagement that have stunned the gospel community. Many church members claim they've felt the weight of his authority, yet now, they are compelled to reckon with the possibility that the very foundation of their faith may be built upon deceptive practices. Behind Marvin's charismatic facade lies a tangled web of ethical dilemmas. He has faced allegations of infidelity and legal issues, creating a narrative that's hard to swallow. As Johnson exposed, it seems that while bishops preach humility and selflessness, their actions tell a different story. She didn't hold back, confronting the disparity between the lavish lifestyles of church leaders and the struggles faced by the congregation. This is more than a personal feud. It's a call to accountability, urging the community to rise against the injustices that have long been overlooked. It's about demanding transparency in an institution that should prioritize spiritual integrity. As the gospel community grapples with this shocking revelation, many are left to wonder, what other secrets lie beneath the surface? The urgency to seek truth has never been more paramount, and as discussions unfold, the question remains, can the church heal from this betrayal? Behind closed doors, scandals and secrets. Behind the polished facades of revered church leaders lies a web of hidden contradictions, controversies, and scandals that are often kept under wraps. The allure of power within religious institutions can create a dangerous environment where moral compasses frequently deviate from the teachings they preach. Take Bishop Marvin, for instance, known for his mesmerizing sermons and philanthropic ventures. However, beneath his charismatic exterior lurk serious allegations that paint a different picture. Reports of unethical business practices, personal indiscretions, and even legal troubles have clouded his reputation. These revelations challenge the legitimacy of his pastoral authority, leading many to question whether he truly walks the path he preaches. It's not just about one man, though, but a systemic issue that plagues many religious organizations. When church members witness their leaders living extravagant lifestyles while they struggle to make ends meet, discontent inevitably breeds. Johnson's revelations signal a larger movement within the church community as individuals begin to demand accountability and transparency from those in power. The fear of retaliation looms large, yet her courage resonates widely, inspiring others to share their stories of injustice and hypocrisy within the church. As secrets continue to unravel and the truth gradually comes to light, one must wonder, what other hidden secrets lie beneath the surface? What other powerful figures engage in morally questionable behavior under the guise of spirituality? In this environment of unease, the call for authenticity, justice, and true Christianity becomes ever more pressing, urging us to seek a deeper truth that transcends mere appearances. As Leandria Johnson's words spread like wildfire across social media, the gospel community found itself divided, where some stood firm in their support for Marvin Winans, while others began to question the integrity of their beloved bishop. The mixed reactions made it clear that Johnson's outspoken commentary had struck a nerve, igniting conversations that had long been simmering beneath the surface. Many fans expressed admiration for Johnson's bravery, praising her for voicing what they felt but lacked the courage to say. Comments flooded in, where individuals expressed their own disappointment in church leadership, feeling betrayed by a system that promised hope, yet often delivered nothing but hypocrisy. Conversely, staunch defenders of Winans rushed to his aid, labeling Johnson's comments as disrespectful and inflammatory, arguing that her actions could tarnish the reputation of a man they considered gospel royalty. Amid the drama, the church's image took a direct hit, forcing congregants to grapple with the uncomfortable truth. The world of gospel music is not impervious to greed and misconduct, and the ramifications of this confrontation could extend far beyond public opinion. Some called for accountability, demanding that church leaders serve their communities authentically and transparently. Meanwhile, others suggested that Johnson's outspokenness might lead to a more open dialogue about church practices, pushing for necessary reforms. In the aftermath of this public fallout, both Johnson and Winans found themselves at a crossroads, where the narrative surrounding their lives and careers shifted dramatically. As conversations continued to unfold, churchgoers began to reflect on their own experiences and attitudes towards faith leaders, deepening their search for authentic voices in a landscape often muddied by self-interest and controversy. The community was forced not only to consider their loyalties, but also the core values that underpin their faith. A call for truth and accountability. In today's world, the call for truth and accountability has never been more essential, especially within institutions like the church, where trust is paramount. Many people look to their spiritual leaders for guidance, but when those leaders fail to practice what they preach, the repercussions can be devastating. Leandria Johnson's recent outcry against Bishop Marvin W_inside_ highlights this very issue. She urged the community to examine the discrepancies between the luxurious lives of church leaders and the struggles of their congregants. This stark contrast raises important questions about the priorities of those in power and whether their motivations align with the true teachings of their faith. Accountability is not merely a buzzword. It should be an obligation. When leaders become complacent, or worse, exploit the trust placed in them, it undermines the very essence of their roles and devalues the faith of their following. Further complicating the issue, individuals within these institutions often feel pressured to conform to a culture of silence, fearing the backlash that can come from speaking out against influential figures. Yet, voices like Johnson's are crucial, as they represent a longing for integrity and genuine connection. As the public grapples with these revelations, it becomes clear that the time for change is now, and the call for transparency resonates louder than ever. Only through a commitment to accountability can the church heal, reclaim its mission, and restore the faith of those who feel disillusioned and lost in the shadows of hypocrisy. Without this honest reflection, the spiritual community risks alienating those who seek solace and truth in their faith. In conclusion, the controversy surrounding Leandria Johnson and Bishop Marvin W. highlights not just personal grievances, but a broader systemic issue within the church that many are hesitant to address. Johnson's fierce outspokenness reflects a growing frustration among congregants, who often feel overlooked and underappreciated. Her stirring calls for accountability challenge the status quo, forcing us to consider the fine line between faith and hypocrisy. As more voices join the conversation, it's crucial to examine the motives behind the actions of church leaders and question whether their lavish lifestyles align with the teachings they preach. While Johnson's accusations may ruffle feathers, they also spark a necessary dialogue on transparency in faith-based institutions. Are pastors truly exemplifying the selflessness their teachings advocate, or are they simply capitalizing on the vulnerabilities of their followers? As we dissect these complex dynamics, we invite viewers to reflect on their experiences and share their thoughts. Through this engagement, a collective drive toward integrity and honesty in the church community becomes possible. Ultimately, Johnson's bold stance has the potential to foster change, urging churches to realign their priorities with the core values of compassion and service. As we navigate this evolving narrative, It's essential to remain vigilant, open-minded, and ready to challenge the norms that hinder genuine connection and growth in faith. The question remains, will the church rise to meet these challenges, or continue to operate in shadowy silence? The answers lie in the hands of each individual, as together, we navigate a path towards healing and reconciliation.